We are not.
Not, okay.
No, no, it will just be posting the
After
colors.
they post the colors, then my people will come back out.
Yep, and I'm gonna put a sign up, I've got a seat, I wanna, I mean, they can certainly march out, how about this? I've got 2 reserved seats
Okay.
that I wanna put down for them, where do they wanna be, right by the stairs?
Probably right down here below.
Okay, I was thinking I would put one kinda by each stair, right, so that way they can post.
What? Is there a stair on this side?
Yep,
Oh,
they
okay.
can come down right
Okay.
there, and then they can just sit down
Okay.
right on the end, is that all right?
Yep, that'll be
Okay.
fine. Be fine.
Okay. That's what we'll do then. And, obviously, once they post the colors, they'll order arms, and then that's it, right?
Right.
Okay,
Right, and they'll come on back.
okay, great, thank you.
We need to fix the stage.
Go north further, it's colder.
Thanks. We're in this nice little bubble here, we're good.
It's a lot colder. We're always nice. At least there's no snow out there.
I stayed in Gordon. About 3 inches. Hay Springs, east side, nice, on the west side. They're gonna have to.
Should have sand there, though. Are we supposed to bring the podium? Casey, somebody just walked in with one. Are you sure? Yeah.
Okay, so
Just saying we were.
no, we made that video. Are we gonna do that?
No, there's one in here, there's gonna be one here.
No, I was.
Many years ago.
But we can do the way I want it walk.
Oh, yeah. How come you sit so far back?
morning, folks.
I'm gonna let all the important people sit up there. We've already heard the spiel.
Huh?
We've already heard. We heard it.
Oh, they let you in the employees deal?
Well, we work up there.
Huh?
We work there.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just had to bring the flags and stuff over, so. Here to watch a flag. No, I came here for the Easter thing. It'll be interesting to see if any of the stuff is different. It'll just be interesting to see what kind of questions get asked.
She's got to take. Sure. Well, she's using it, so we should have had another roll, but we don't. So, do we need a someone for the purpose of the sound system? Oh, okay, does he have the other one all taken down?
What's that? No, those slides are all good no matter where we're at.
So we'll just need to accommodate how many do that. Now. What are you doing? He's Bethlehem,
Marco Davis. Chuck is supposed to be Marco Davis.
I just only need two.
So if you want to see somebody's nose.
You can't, they're all reserved. They're all reserved.
You need to stand? Just down here. Just down here. I need you to come. Here, out of thin air.
You wanna sit up and shake?
Just the very front row there, and then
You're the chamber as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Just let me check. I told Teresa.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll count.
so I think if you could take them just on this front side, but to the back.
Test, thank you. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test, 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 test.
You wanna send in a seed or my steam?
Chris, you wanna just make sure those two are working?
1, 2, 1, 2. Test, test, test.
Thank you. Yeah, the flag's right here. The VA flag, we'll go down this whole way here. The VA flag goes here, American flag goes over there. And once you post them, just salute the flag,
Yeah,
come on back.
okay,
That's all there's to it.
okay. Johnny, I guess when you post yours, you just come this way?
No, the steps are here too.
What's that?
There's steps on this side.
Yeah, I mean, steps down, and I'll just come down them steps that way.
Cross over, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
gotta cross over.
No, just go.
no, just, we'll
One down
just.
that side, one down this side.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, John.
Here, Liz, how you
I'm
doing?
the MC, so I'll be calling for the color to be posted.
Okay,
so.
cool.
Okay.
I'm Ricky.
Hey, Andre.
I'm John.
Hi, John, nice to meet you.
That's Norm.
Yep, we met yesterday.
Okay,
I put a little reserve sign on a seat towards, close to each set of stairs there, so that after you're done posting, you can have a seat there. If you wanna sit somewhere else, that's totally fine, I just wanna make sure that you got a place to sit, so if you want me to put those signs, I can.
oh, go ahead, and we'll have our wives say this.
Oh, we'll put it on.
Wherever they sit. we'll sit.
Okay, so
Yeah,
shall I just take them off? Take
Yeah.
off the reserve
Do
signs?
you have retiring of the colors or not?
We're not gonna retire the
Okay,
colors,
good,
yeah,
good.
we'll just leave them posted.
You hear that, Rick? You don't have to retire them.
okay.
Okay, we'll just get them later then.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
leave them.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're my two colors.
Oh, I will take off the reserve signs then, because it sounds like they're gonna sit, they're just gonna have the wives saving the seat, so. So I'm gonna take these off and pick off.
Okay.
We just put it right over here. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can try to like.
Look out there.
Hey, how's it going? Good.
Good.
Missed you Sunday.
Yeah, I
You
was
wet, you all right?
weather. Nobody give you a hard time?
What?
Nobody to give you a hard time? Oh, really?
Yeah, just Joni and Bill, Kim, so.
I was late.
Wow.
Wouldn't miss anything.
Who did it? Three? Guy that.
Nick Rombo.
Nick Rombo, yeah.
Yeah, we did this at the work and we had to bring the flags down, so. There's really a lot of side stuff.
Thought I did it out in the middle.
Yeah.
It's fixing jacket.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Kind of positive.
Oh, well, you didn't see that sign? Did you not see that sign out there?
No,
We got that, we got that.
Ground pounders and floaters, that's about it. Yeah, it was crazy this morning, he come through there.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
1, 2, check.
It's like that.
Everybody was stalled. I think everybody thought they were gonna get a chance to talk to him.
Yeah. He done work here. And that's what it's gonna be like today too.
Well, they have, he talks at these
Don't think I'd ask you
There
the
were some
question
doozies
I'd
that,
ask.
there were some doozies at the town hall, with the employees up there.
Oh,
Just a couple of them.
Not much.
Live
stream is working.
This is George Cotty, you go to church with him?
Streaming it, VA, or I mean, Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
One of them.
Well, actually, it's on YouTube.
What did you repeat of his
But there's a link on the Save the VA page. And on the chamber page.
Set him up here.
Start dealing with the.
Oh, this is the public radio.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Seen it here.
We got the door locked.
It's a cancer that's in. Until that gets fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my, very clean answers.
You know, it reminds me of, I love watching it. Cause it's
Oh, yeah.
so real. You know, I mean, there's whoever, one of the episodes there is really for one of the cartoons is that, and, you know, they were doing all kinds of things. Of course, Frank was, you know,
Yeah.
sweeping the streets and stuff like that. When MacArthur comes, he comes right through. You know, never stop. Yeah. I said, that is so difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we had that.
Yeah, I had less.
Yeah, get you all ready.
Journal's coming down.
There should be a whole bunch. Drives right on through. And half the time you're probably not even gonna stop, but he's gonna be through the area.
Yeah, yeah.
I talked to
Casey
the
was
wife.
a fly boy.
She probably took one.
Air Force. George was.
Smart man. You keep this army guy in check.
What's happening, ready?
You have something to throw at me?
Big metal stick.
What'd you do? What, 130? Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I never. Never.
Yeah, you could speak to us. All set.
They've been buried?
Yep, on the cross and everything. Yep, no cross. Just
Yeah.
three flags on this side, flag. Huh?
I've seen a few of those.
See your old American flag over there.
Americans gonna go down on the wrong side.
No, they'll have to cross up
Huh?
here.
I don't know.
Yeah, they'll
Is it
cross
over
here.
here? I don't know.
What's this?
You got the army hat on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Filthy.
So here.
Okay,
I'm just
and then
sore.
who's doing the command? Is it you and Rick? Okay.
Very short.
When you wait until Rick gets back.
Get them in soon.
Oh, yeah.
The MC will tell you.
You've been looking at that mysteries book?
I was gonna tell you, I really enjoy it.
Do you? Yeah, I just wondered.
I get to
mean,
go in
was
it,
on
I
the-
tried to do it one day at a time, and then the more I get to go in it, the more I just keep on going.
Yeah, I know.
I'm up to like day 30 already,
Oh,
cause
wow.
I can't, yeah, I get in there and I can't put it down.
He
It's
was
just
on-
really interesting to me how he takes this just off the wall
Word or something,
and
yeah.
just, and the master.
Yeah.
Master came and got me early in the morning and
Yeah.
took me out into the desert.
Yeah.
And see, and I like the book because there's a lot of reference to being outside.
Yeah.
And I'm a big outside person.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's-
I do a lot of
I never
praying
thought of
and
it that way,
thinking
but yeah.
outside. So I really,
Yeah.
yeah, I like it a lot.
I never
I told my mom about it. She likes that kind of stuff too. So I'm gonna bring it down at Christmas when I fly.
Oh,
down.
yeah, yeah.
Let her-
He was on,
No. If she likes it, she said, well, if I like it, we'll just go buy copies. There's bookstores galore.
yeah. And it's sold at Walmart for sale.
Yeah. But I think she'll like it. And then what's cool is the verses at the end.
We gotta figure out what we're gonna cross at here. Right here.
Do you want to sit here and I'll hear my dinner? Maybe right there.
Oh, quite a bit. Flew most of my
Yeah, I know that. I was worried about where we were going.
my staff. Mostly on the KC 135. Yeah.
Case. Right?
When I was coming back, they were doing an area retreat.
Oh, yeah.
And so the roadmaster, I knew I was the roadmaster. He says, come back there. And so I went home, I laid down. Last night, on the fuel.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of neat, man. That's a good view. Yeah, that is, that's neat.
I have to go John you guys out. He gets to watch F-16s fly up and we're down and stuff. So that's the better end of the deal there.
Once in a while, it gets a little scary, though. When they come at you a little faster than they should. Yeah, yeah, they have those. I kidded the KC-10 the 135 was built 50s, so the technology is pretty old. KC-10, they all and you take off, you just dial in, climb, flight level 250, fly at 480. For security purposes. You know, every time those guys.
There's lots.
Yeah, they're supposed to.
That's what I thought. I'm like, what are you trying to do, dude?
The only people supposed to go through there are me, Chris, and Scott, and the color guard.
Mike, please go out that door.
Yeah, Mike's still going in, so.
You can go out it. You just won't get back in.
I just want to be a rebel and go out the door that I'm not supposed to go out.
Yeah.
You didn't even get issued a weapon till you got permanent duty, did you?
Weapon, what's that?
You guys had plastic rifles, too, didn't you?
Oh my. Oh my.
No, I've
I gotta go.
That's supposed to stay locked. Go out, but this is the only way in is the other one. It's like, dude, don't just kick the thing.
Open doors.
It's like everything is set for a reason today. It's not like this wasn't thought out ahead of time.
Did you watch that game?
Yeah.
Did Connie get you too?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I know he's not that old. His name's Mike too, right?
He always asks me,
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Hey,
Good.
anything I can help you with?
I'm good. I work here for the chamber, so.
Yes, I would. I mean, if you needed me to help you with something.
Oh, no, I'm good. Yeah, right? No, thank you, though. Appreciate it.
They used to do after 50-yard line, or 25. There's different age.
So I was pretty much said to call McDonald, I was where I was right. I was right outside of Spring. Like, okay, so I got hot springs and then went. Because on top of that, when I stopped to make my phone call and smoke cigarettes.
Good, how are you, Mr. Anderson? Good, good to see you. Good to see you too. You clean up pretty good, huh?
That's what they tell me.
I got
It was good to walk through the campus today.
Yeah, cool. Did he take a lot of time?
Just kind of say I'm scared. Talked to a lot of veterans.
Good.
Some staff. Asked a lot of questions.
Good.
I was like, yes. Thanks, hung up. Not let me forget it. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. 15th was my probation. I like my job. I like working there. That's why I don't.
There's a reason why you got to be
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
3 months ago.
Dude. Thanks.
Hello.
Hey, man.
How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Good.
Who are you with?
Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, here in Hot Springs?
Here in Hot Springs.
Okay, so,
Card.
They're wanting media in this section over here
Right.
for handicap parking throughout here. So that's why they have it set up and pocketed over there.
Okay. Well,
I know that it's everyday
I was under
What
the
they're thinking is that there's like 3 wheelchairs that they could put in that space that you're on.
Right. I've got a live stream going from this. I don't want to interrupt it. Could you possibly talk with the building manager and see if I can at least move this camera but leave this one because it's only just a tripod? Because I can move that laptop up against the wall. 'Cause that's where it's powered.
I think that would probably be doable,
Okay.
but just put it as far over the
Yeah,
wall
yeah,
as
yeah.
you can.
No, I can do that. That's not a problem. Oh, thank you. Oh, leg's coming out.
They're just worried about
Oh, for sure. No, the seating for the guys
seating
and the
for
veterans.
those folks.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Not a problem.
And up in the higher elevation, 2 feet and drifts are 7. Yeah. I just heard my dad. Who I had with me. This is Beth Lynn. She's our state manager.
Leave the windows open and hang out. You can hear it rolling through town.
Marco, I'm gonna save you for
Yeah. And I don't know what order or anything like that. Hey, John. John.
Really?
Huh? Okay, so I didn't know whether or not we were supposed to give them a phone.
We're all set, ready.
Okay. So,
That's why I'm here. Make sure that they got it.
that's what he said.
When you ready?
No, I.
Welcome to our town. Well, it's good to have you here.
This is the first time that I've
We have plunge is a great place to bring, come down. Family.
Called me at home this
Yes, yep, I just got, well, I don't work now. Yep, you called me. No, that's, yeah.
The phone booth found by program?
That's business.
Great.
I'm on the city council here.
They're heated over there. The crowd gets a little rough.
Hey. Morning.
I don't care as long as everything's peaceful, that's fine with me. That's it. See you, Joyce.
According to your
actually, Congress, do you actually think he took it to it? Did he take it to it? That was my assumption. No, I, you know, you read the paper and you assume that he wasn't even going to get the tour. He's just coming out to get the message. That's kind of what I got from the paper.
How you doing? Good, how are you?
And even that's the tour of the staff. Who's giving us the tour? Yeah, there's getting to be fewer and fewer of us, so you keep getting killed off. Which denomination is in line? Oh, 5 years? It's longer. Did he just retire or just one? I tell you what, it's hard. I need church. Especially our churches. We have in our Rocky Mountain district. Of course, that comes probably, especially in rural areas. What they combine, how many churches they combine? Three. Sign of the times, people aren't going into the ministry because you know, they have to pay politicians' salaries, football for pastors. So what are they doing? Yeah, I think you are for a hill pastor. You guys can both like. But not, you know, right now. Yeah, so you guys are researching things. Even have your elders from all the different. Sometimes you need something like that. It's well, I think we're markets coming up. It's got to be real close to that's where every 7 years you your pastor, you let your pastor just go out the pasture for I think it's 5 still. And you still pay the salary and stuff. It's just a fresh it's a thing that's done, you know, the bigger churches and stuff. We started it actually 7 years ago. And we are elderly.
Take them up and throw them down.
And then we also have the Christian Life Center. I'm already got my eye on
They left so long.
I think it's maybe for the guys that are singing.
Some of them just filed in.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Veteran and Community Town Hall. My name is Andre Cook. I office in Eagan, Minnesota, and I will be serving as the moderator today. If you could just take a moment and place your cell phones on silent, we'd appreciate that. In just a moment, I'll introduce the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, the Honorable Bob McDonald, and the Secretary will make a few remarks and then take your questions from the floor. You'll see we have 2 microphones in the aisles here of the theater, and after the Secretary makes his remarks, if you have a question or would like to make a comment, I ask that you line up by those microphones. We also have someone in the back with a wireless microphone as well to help folks who maybe aren't able to make it down to the center aisle. Please bear in mind that many people may have questions or comments today, and we want to get to as many as time permits. If you have questions regarding personal health care or benefit issue, we want to protect your privacy, and we ask that you direct those questions to members of our staff. We have a couple of folks in the back, and we also have on the program, there's our local contact numbers, and so we want to take care of those issues as well. In order to keep the Secretary on his schedule, I will call for one more question at about 1 o'clock. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please come to attention for the color guard. All persons present in uniform should render the military salute. Members of the armed forces and veterans not in uniform may render the military salute. All other persons present should remove their hats and face the front where the flag will be posted with their right hand over their heart. Color guard, post the colors. Please be seated. Secretary McDonald.
Thank you, Andre. Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. We flew in this morning from Washington, D.C. When we first went to the facility and took a tour of the facility, met with veterans along the way, went through the domiciliary, had lunch with members of the VFW, American Legion, members of Congress staff, other stakeholders. We're here to listen. We're here to listen to what you have to say, to your concerns, as we have issued the environmental impact statement and are en route to trying to make a decision how to best care for veterans in the area of South Dakota and this region. So let me stop there and just open the floor for questions and comments. We'd love to hear from you and to get your questions and comments. Yes, sir. And if you don't mind, my name is Bob, and I'd love to know your name. So if you could just tell me your first name, and please refer to me as Bob.
I'm Ed.
Hi, Ed. I can hear you, Ed.
I knew you could. I got something for you.
Okay.
I thought I'd eliminate the middleman. This is my 8th patient satisfaction survey that I filled out for the Black Hills Healthcare System.
Thank you, Ed.
One thing, I'm mighty glad that the 90-day wait that I had for my colonoscopy was up last Monday and not this one.
How was your colonoscopy?
It was good.
I'm thrilled to hear that. Well, perfect. I mean, you know, if you have a polyp and it's precancerous, we want to find it.
Oh, no, I have a perfect.
Good. You're better than I am. I got good news for you, Ed. We have a new thing we've invented at the VA. It's, you know, VA's involved in a lot of the innovation in medical science in the country. And recently we've been working on something called a virtual colonoscopy. So imagine that. we don't have to insert anything inside you. We can just take a picture of your insides and do the colonoscopy virtually. Sounds like good news, right? I got two things I need to tell you about it. First, if we find a polyp, we then have to go in. So some people say, no, you can't go in virtually, Ed, come on. Good question, though, really good question. But we have to go in then and get that polyp. Second thing, and this is the big one, I'm sorry to say this, we haven't yet figured out how to do a virtual preparation for the colonoscopy.
Had I had to do it this Monday, I would have had to wait another 90 days to do it because I couldn't have gotten Fort Meade. They don't do them down here.
Colonoscopy.
Okay? Now, I've been doctoring down here since '89. I'm like most Vietnam veterans. I denied I had PTSD for about 30 years.
Yeah, that's common.
And I didn't start doctoring down here until '39, but I'm going to tell you, when I signed up at the Evans Hotel, that recruiter looked at me, pointed to the VA, and said, this place will always be there for you. Now, I've talked to a few Native Americans, and I now understand the lies from the Great White Father. I get too old to drive the Rapid, and my wife can't bring me back.
Well, you're presuming a decision that has not been made.
I
understand.
No, I'm asking you, I'm telling you why this veteran needs his hospital.
Right.
This facility, when they, in early '90s, when Dr. Pexel would not allow a center director to be down here, and they made us combine with Fort Meade administratively, and the place started going downhill from then on because the center director was in Fort Meade, and he didn't want to take on Hot Springs. We became the ugly stepsister, and gone downhill since then. It's gone from a 200-bed hospital to a 5-bed hospital, not counting the guys there in the other guys come to say. This is important for me as a veteran. This has become personal for me as a veteran, that if my hospital gets shut down, where's it going to be? If their plan goes through, to shut down Hot Springs, 5 years later shut down Fort Meade, have nothing but a clinic in Rapid City, there's going to be no VA hospital in western South Dakota. Where am I going to go from my hospital? I'm getting older. I'm not getting younger. And I'm getting to where I need what was promised me as a veteran.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, sir.
Let's hold the applause because we don't have much time. I want to get through as many of these as we can. Applause takes time. Yes, sir.
Sir, Timothy R. Goodwin, United States Army, Lieutenant Colonel, retired.
Thank you, Timothy.
I'm also recently elected to the House of Representatives of the state of South Dakota.
Congratulations and thank you for serving.
Thank you for coming. That's really appreciated. Take time out of your schedule to be here. What I'm concerned about is at a time when less than 1% of the population serving in the military, that we have the audacity to even think about shutting down VA centers. We should be beefing them up instead of talking about closing them. And what does it do to our soldiers that are deployed right now? Think when they come home that their facilities might not be there. So I think you should be here in regard to how can we beef up this center and make it bigger and better instead of thinking about shutting it down. And also this center is one of the leading in the nation for PTSD disorders, and that's our major injury when we come back from Iraq and Afghanistan, not counting the war in ISIS. We're at a 3-front war right now, and our country's actually thinking about shutting down VAs. You've got to be kidding me. Now, you're catching the brunt of this because you represent our government, and I appreciate you coming, but you should be here figuring out how we can make this thing bigger and better instead of thinking about shutting it down.
Thank you, Timothy. 60% of the VA buildings are over 50 years old. 60%. And many of those buildings were built at a time where the veterans were only one gender. We have some buildings with single gender bathrooms. We have 1,700 rooms that are multiple person rooms. And you know, in the volunteer army, it's not that way today. If you talk to the American Legion, the Disabled American Veterans, the independent budget said that Congress has underfunded construction in the VA by $9 billion over the last 5 years. So this is not just a VA issue, as you've said. This is a government issue, and we need our members of Congress to give the VA an infrastructure that is worthy of the veterans who fought our wars. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Secretary McDonald. My name is Kyle Lozano. I actually took a picture earlier this afternoon. I had on a green sweater and a beanie, so
I did recognize you.
thought I'd clean up a little bit. Hey, you know what? Sorry, it's my first time speaking on a microphone, but I was asked to share by some of the brethren from the American Legion. You know, we spent Thanksgiving dinner with them on Thursday, and they asked me to come and share my story. So I'm a veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, and a few other operations as well. I struggled with PTSD. You know, I came home from Iraq. I deployed from 04 to 06, another mission from 06 to 07, and then back overseas from 07 to 08. And I came home, and my father was a Vietnam vet, you know, and I tried to open up to him about what I was experiencing, but he didn't know how to respond, you know. And kind of after that, I kind of clammed up for a long time, you know, and I was told by many people, you know, hey, you have PTSD when you have it. I live in Orange County, California. And so I go to Long Beach VA. Unfortunately, Long Beach VA doesn't have any residential PTSD programs. And so it was recommended to me that I pursue Palo Alto, Northern California. Palo Alto told me that I'm not in their service area, so they weren't able to help me. So by the grace of God, you know, I see my psychologist recommended this place. And, you know, I've kind of been, you know, it's back and forth whether they're going to close down this facility or not. I know that's still in the air. But Secretary McDonald, you know, this place may have saved my life. You know, I got here September 7th this year. I'll be going home next month. And, you know, I struggle with alcoholism as well as a kind of an aftermath of my PTSD. And, you know, I was struggling for a long time. You know, and I feel like this facility here in the Don may potentially save my life because, you know, I have a family at home that needs me. Doing outpatient once a week just wasn't working for me. You know, I would drive up to Long Beach VA, I need an hour group, and then I have a 45-minute drive home in traffic to just sit and think. You know, and that doesn't always end well for me. So anyway, I just wanted to come share my story.
Thank you for sharing the story.
Yeah.
Could we get more information from you? Because I would like to find out more about, you should never be turned away from a VA facility, anywhere in the country.
Ironically.
I'd like to know more about that, okay?
Interestingly, once I got here to South Dakota, my care coordinator, Shirley Peterson, she actually informed me they sent people from South Dakota to Palo Alto.
Yeah, well, we send people all over the country,
Right,
depending
right.
upon what their needs are.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, Secretary. My name is Les Pilgrim. I'm a Vietnam vet. That man's story comes all the way from California. Well, I only come 40 miles away to get my care here. And I want to make it clear that from my point of view, being here has nothing to do with economics. It has to do with care. And this is my hospital. I came to South Dakota 13 years ago, and this has been my hospital for 13 years. And when I hear on the news some of the horror stories of other VAs, I scratch my head, frankly, and I go, that's not my experience from Hot Springs. My simple comment would be, instead of considering closure, they should consider the staff at Hot Springs to model after for the rest of the country.
Thank you. Very good staff.
Hello, Bob. My name is Barb Sharp, and I am a retired employee of the VA. I know you're pressed for time. I brought you two recent issues of the Hot Springs Star. Our new editor, John Taylor, did a brilliant summary of all of the arguments that have been put forward for the last
Terrific.
5 years.
I'd love to see it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for coming to visit with us. My name is Dawn Johnson. I'm a 7th-generation member of the location in southwestern South Dakota. I would like to address the issue of customer service. I had a great uncle that died during the march in Germany when the POWs marched. He had an abdominal injury. I had another great uncle that died midway. My father served during Korea. My brother served during Operation Storm, and I have a nephew that just returned from serving his year on the front line in Afghanistan and guarding the gates to North Korea. They deserve quality customer service. Over the years, we've always found Hot Springs to be a quality care facility. Anytime any of my family needed care there, they were promptly attended to and given the best service, as other people will attest to. On the topic of customer service, as someone who provides customer service as my profession, it's not my job to put out there what I think my customers need. It's my job to meet my customers' needs. And the VA in Hot Springs' job meets their customers' needs. It's quiet, it's peaceful, it's homey. Everybody in our town accepts the veterans for what they are and what they've done. They're respectful. The 125 years my family has been here, the VA has been nothing but a place of honor in our community, and our veterans deserve nothing less than the honor that we give them. I really think that should we move our facilities to Rapid City or to Fort Meade or to another place than Hot Springs, that we are really not giving our customers the service that they need. They need the environment that Hot Springs has to offer. And I think it would be a real shortchange for them, for the government to decide that we're not going to serve our customers, we're going to serve ourselves. Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, my name is Don Ackerman. In 2010, I started this quest of a question to the VA. We were told it was going to be closed. August 2010, I went up to the director and asked him, are you going to close this place? He said, absolutely not. October, he came out and said, we're going to close this. Since that first line, Mr. Secretary, I've been involved in trying to get information. We asked questions on why you're going to close this facility. We were told money, we were told size. An example, we said we can't have things for men and women, we can't build that in this facility. We've researched entirely every statement that the VA has told us and proved it with facts, not innuendos or interpreting information. We went to Washington, D.C., and we spoke to the House Appropriations Committee in front of Mr. Shinseki. And one of the main things I told Mr. Shinseki was, sir, you're listening to the central office and they're lying to you. Mr. Secretary, you're listening to the central office and they're lying to you. We walked out of there, we were told that was the best briefing they ever seen in Washington, D.C. We came back 3 weeks later and talked to your experts who gave us a Ouija board and told us because the moons are in the right place and the sun is over here, that we know we have to put the facilities in this location. That's what he told us. He knew. That was the man in charge in Washington, D.C. on where facilities would be built. We left there, we came back here. We asked for our congressionals to come here and see you, and see our town. They came, the House Appropriations came and they had a field hearing. Biggest field hearing they had in history, located right over there. If they walked away and said, VA, you're wrong, something's got to be done here. We have done everything. We forced the EIS. We have a document, not very thick, not near as thick as your EIS, that shows exactly how much information in there is true and how much information is not true. And we sent you directly a copy of that document. My question to you today, Mr. Secretary, is we have done everything right, and the only question I have for you, you're going to make a decision, and according to your director and the rest of the leadership, the decision is, they already know what the decision is going to be. My question to you, sir, is...
Who said that? Who said they already know what the decision is?
Jan Murphy said, and I quote, "I don't care what information you bring to us. It doesn't matter. I'm going to recommend this facility be closed."
Well,
And that is on KOTA tape. If you want to see it, I will give it to you. Now, my question,
I
sir.
haven't made a decision yet.
My question to you, sir, is one thing. What do you suggest I do next? Because
I'll let the next person comment.
I'm a veteran.
Well, I understand your question.
Okay. I'm a veteran. I'm fighting for my veterans. It's not for me, it's for my veterans. What do you suggest I do next? Because I am not going to quit when you say I'm going to close it. Should you say that? We are going to continue because we want this facility. We need this facility.
I have to make a decision. I am also a veteran.
I know that.
I went to West Point. I was an airborne ranger in the 82nd Airborne Division. I was the CEO of the Procter & Gamble Company. I retired. I was asked to come and do this job. I have no political agenda. I have no political ambition. I'm not trying for any office. I'm not asking anybody to vote for me. I don't want to be a member of Congress. I don't like politics. So I'm going to make a decision that I think is right for veterans. And I'm a veteran. So, thank you.
My name is Red Schwarzenbach, and I'm coming from different directions. I'm a retired VA physician. I retired in 2014. I'm also a Navy veteran, and I live here in Hot Springs. I decided to retire and stay here, so I've got a lot invested here. So, and I was also head of primary care for 9 years when I was here, so dealt with a lot of people, some of the issues. And there's been a lot of misinformation given, in my opinion. When I first got the job of head of primary care, I would go ahead and prepare in Fort Meade, both places. And I kept hearing that from people in Hot Springs that they want to close Hot Springs, or at least downsize it considerably. And I would go to Pete Henry with those concerns. I was new here. And he said, "Red, don't worry about that. Hot Springs is much more stable politically and geographically than Fort Meade. So guys up here are the ones that need to be worried." And he told me that more than once. But then over the ensuing years, we've seen them just systematically cut back one thing at a time. As one of Senator Tim Johnson's staffers said, "Death by 1,000 cuts." That's where the term really came from, and that's been very true. And it's really a shame. And I think we need to realize that in Hot Springs is really something different. And I'm not saying a thing against Fort Meade at all. I know people up there, some of my good friends are up there, some of the best doctors I've ever known are up there. But you look at the Hot Springs facility, the staff here is second to none. Like Dawn talking about customer service. A few years ago, we were #1 in the nation in customer service. I don't know where we are now.
Still good.
Granted,
Still very
that's
good.
those places, Hot Springs and Fort Meade, but Hot Springs always held up their end of the deal, so to speak, and even more so. And people like coming to Hot Springs. It's one of those things where if you're on the inside looking out, it's hard to explain. On the outside looking in, it's hard to understand. But it's a family here, honestly, it is. And people like coming here. They would rather drive here from Scottsbluff, Nebraska, than go to the street down to their doctor's office down the street. There's something of a camaraderie as a veteran, there's something about it. Whether it's in the exam room, walking down the halls, waiting rooms, whatever. This is just a family. I mean, it really is. We know people by name, they know us, and it is something really different and something special. And, you hate to see that go away because that's what we really kind of strive for. As far as quality measures, we've always done well in Hot Springs. We fared good. You can look all this up, it's all for the record. I know Jan from years back, been around for a long time, but our performance measures have always been good. And, it's just upsetting. No a lot of talk about people not wanting to come to hot springs. That's not true. Just in the time since I've been retired, I know of 3. Well, there was one primary care physician that was already here, that because of managerial policies was forced to leave. Not was forced, but he did. There were 2 other contract physicians that I know of that wanted to come to Hot Springs to live, but they wouldn't do it because of these innuendos, everything going around. And I know even in the hospital, I figured I ended my career here as a hospitalist. And during that period of time, there were several hospitalists that wanted to come to Hot Springs. But again, mainly because of managerial concerns and disagreements with managerial staff, they were not even offered a job, and some wouldn't even come back on the contract. It's not hard to get people here. It's a great place. We had a surgeon, a urologist here, that wanted to live in Hot Springs here for a long time, wanted to stay. She applied for a job as chief of surgery, and actually by the search committee, she was #1, but was passed over, and ultimately wound up moving to Fort Harrison, Montana. The last I heard, she was head of surgery in Montana. There's a surgeon also down here that was sent down here from Fort Meade, and when she got here, she did a great job. We loved her. She was good service, on and on, but she was actually called back to Fort Meade from Hot Springs, and ultimately left the VA about 3 weeks after that because of a variety of reasons I won't go into, but it sure wasn't anything on her. Pharmacy has been decimated, the lab has been decimated, all the support staff have been decimated. The inpatient staff on 1 East, they deserve awards, acclamation, whatever. They've done more than their share. Overtime, mandatory overtime, all sorts of things to serve the veterans. We've been threatened one time by one of the previous directors. If anything happens here because of staffing, I'm going to shut this place down. Quote unquote. I mean, there have been a lot of threats. I know in the primary care clinics, people left because of really unreasonable workloads. It was just too much on them. I went one time even in psychiatry. We had 3 psychiatrists here. Wound up down to 1 because they couldn't or wouldn't hire anybody. I was in the grocery store one day and said, "Red, I've got to leave. One psychiatrist doing the job of 3. I can't do this anymore."
Sir, I understand. Thank you very much for your comments, and thank you
But
for your
anyhow,
service to the VA.
in the diet, I'm sorry, I'm going a little long.
Well, there's quite a line of people.
But anyhow,
I understand your point.
This is a great place, and to close it or downsize it is just the wrong thing to do.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for your attention.
Hello, Mr. McDonald.
Hi.
My name is Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
I just want to give you a little bit of personal information. I came here 7 months ago, 8 months ago, with cocaine addiction and PTSD. I couldn't stay clean for 10 minutes. I've been to Houston, Denver, Kansas City, Wichita, Topeka, and a few other VAs. In those larger cities, before you can leave the VA ground, there's dope boys out there offering you dope, which does not allow you to have the opportunity to get your mind clear so you can get into recovery. I've been here 8 months. There's only one perfect thing I've done since I've been here, and that's not use no dope. There's something magical and mystical about Hot Springs. Other people in other cities need what they have here in order to address the problems of addiction and PTSD. I completed the PTSD program. They gave me an opportunity to take a look at my life and help me get my life back together. They have saved my life. I have never experienced the amount of freedom and that I experienced by going through the PTSD and the addiction addiction program, seeking safety, and ancient history, which teaches me about me to help me stay clean. I could not do it in any other place. The services and the care that these people and the love they have given me and shown me. Sir, I've been to a lot of places and I could not get that, and I could not stay clean. Today I stand before you telling you that this place helps you get your life back together if you will participate in your own recovery. If you will do the work, they have the tools and the people in place to help save addicts like me. I'll always be an addict, but today I'm not a practicing addict because of God's grace.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Bijou. Thank you, vets. My father, my grandfather, my brother, my nephew, my husband. That's my line. When I was 14, I had the most interesting place that we were billeted, a hospital wing, and it was great. That was in Colorado Springs, Fort Carson. They ran out of housing. So the reason I'm here from Rapid City is because I come down here to stand up there at those buildings and remember community. This is not just a facility. It is a community. One of the things we need is to fuel the community with other communities, and that's Hot Springs, the nature of the people, the nature of the businesses. So we want to bring life in, and how do we do that? Perhaps, and this is way out of the box, perhaps part of these wards can be taken and sold to retired vets for housing. They become part of the VA community. And then those of us who have a condominium there, our fees feed that particular home. And we can walk down the hall and wrap our arm around a vet and say, it's time to go to the movies. Let's go down the hall. If we bring in more community that can afford by creating their life there, just like I lived in a ward, I could buy part of a ward. Most retirement centers do that. You buy in, what your house is worth, you end up paying to move into. We could bring money in. That's what I'm asking. Consider not just what it is as a VA, but what is it as a community? And perhaps we can enlarge. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Secretary McDonald. My name is Bob Nelson.
Bob.
Thank you for the tour this morning. I appreciate that. I'm still trying to recover from what this gentleman said about Hot Springs. It is what defines Hot Springs. On behalf of the community, I want to welcome you to Hot Springs, the Hot Springs VA. A VA that's been serving veterans for 109 years with these types of success stories. The first VA in the VA system, when it was built, that had a medical component on it, recognized that the veterans from the Civil War forward were going to need something other than just than housing. It is the granddaddy within your system. It's a National Historic Landmark. It deserves better treatment than it's gotten. On the tour this morning, the areas that you saw were very limited. And it's our belief that's by design. They showed you Building 7. Building 7 is, as we talked a little bit about with Building 4, it's an open forum. It can become anything that it needs to be. But what the VA always wants to do is they want to downplay the current condition it's in, and they don't want to talk about possibilities. I want to talk with you about possibilities today. What you didn't see, and it was disappointing, when we left dialysis, rather than turning right to go down to surgery. The VA just recently put $1 million into an air handling upgrade in surgery, and it essentially goes unused. In 2009, there was a quote from a contractor to significantly upgrade all of the components within the surgery system themselves to allow viewing of surgical procedures from Fort Meade, from Minneapolis, from other locations within the hospital itself to be used for training purposes. That proposal never went forward. I want to talk with you about the nuclear medicine camera that you never saw, the 2 x-ray rooms that you never saw, the ultrasound unit that you never saw, the mobile CT scanner that you never saw. Those are important. Those are functioning right now to a very limited capacity, short of x-ray. But those are possibilities for Hot Springs if Hot Springs stays open to take care of veterans. In 2012, the American Legion System Work Savings Report identified 3.3 million rural veterans, and that number is going to grow. And the veterans that are here with you today come from rural America, highly rural America. They're already in medically underserved areas. The VA thinks that in this location, choice is going to work. The congressional folks in the VSOs will tell you, choice isn't working for these veterans. It's difficult enough. This VA, it's sacred to us. We have been told many times to not get emotional. How do you not get emotional over these kinds of stories? And when we talk to the VA about it, what we will get a lot of times is when we disagree with their facts, they'll nod their heads and they'll shake at us. They'll shake their heads at us. But you people just don't get it. We've looked at the numbers, being the VA, and we've arrived at the decision that we feel is in best interest. Well, I've said all of that to say this. For 5 years, this whole community, extending into Nebraska, extending into Wyoming, extending into the reservations, and poured their heart and soul into this. I respect that you've said you haven't made a decision. Director Horstman, I gave her the Save the VA's response to the draft environmental impact statement. It's light reading. You should be able to.
Will you give me a copy?
I didn't personally give you a copy.
Somebody did.
Thank you, Director Horstman. So if you haven't made your decision, as you've said you haven't, I respect that. On behalf of everybody in this room, my request to you is, will you commit to us that prior to your making that decision, you personally will read every page of that document, and it will, my hope is it will open your eyes. We've done everything we can to be open and not misrepresent facts. The facts that are in there, we reference the FOIA information, the FOIA requests. It's not our data, it's not something we manufactured. It's our interpretation of the data that the VA has given us themselves. Will you make that commitment to these folks that you will read that document prior to your decision?
Absolutely. I'll read every document I receive.
Good afternoon, Secretary McDonald. My name is Jenny Buddenborg, and I'm a Senior Field Officer with the National Trust for Historic Preservation in the Denver Field Office. For the past 5 years, I have worked alongside these amazing and dedicated veterans to prevent the closure of the Hot Springs VA Medical Center, also known as the Battle Mountain Sanitarium National Historic Landmark. You have met several of my colleagues in Washington, D.C., and I'm pleased to have the opportunity to meet you myself here in Hot Springs. The Battle Mountain Sanitarium is a remarkable place that has served as a beacon of hope for veterans who have received their medical care here over more than a century. Like the South Dakota Congressional Delegation, the Save the VA Coalition, and the American Legion, the National Trust continues to believe the Hot Springs VA Medical Center is an extraordinary place that can and should continue to treat the unique healthcare needs of those who have served our nation. We share the veteran frustration over the VA's apparent systematic relocation of health services away from Hot Springs and the subsequent use of dwindling patient statistics to justify a long-stated preference to close the medical center at Hot Springs. This is the data you have been given to inform your decision. It is the data that has informed the compliance process that has presented a set of alternatives for you to also consider in your decision-making. The preferred alternative has been presented to you, which includes a community-based outpatient clinic in a renovated Building 12 and a Veterans Call Center in Buildings 3 and 4, is a small move in the right direction. Yet this preferred alternative still places dozens of historically significant and well-maintained buildings on the medical campus that could be readily used for veteran healthcare at risk by leaving them vacant with no determined future use. And to your point earlier, Secretary, about them being older buildings, there are historic hospital buildings across the country that provide modern medical care. It has been proven. We brought in consultants to prove that handicap accessibility could be met in the hot springs buildings. And that cost that had been gathered via JLL regarding renovation costs have been inflated. And those are reports that have been provided to the VA, and hopefully you'll be able to see those directly yourself. We believe the VA's preferred alternative should incorporate more veteran health services in more Hot Springs campus buildings, and we support ideas such as that proposed by the Save the VA Coalition to locate, for example, a center of excellence for PTSD treatment on the Hot Springs campus. The National Trust believes a better solution to the VA's current preferred alternative can be achieved with more time given to a decision-making process that values an inclusive, transparent, and respectful conversation with all stakeholders, especially the region's veterans. We urge the VA not to implement the final preferred alternative and instead work with area veterans to craft a new preferred alternative that meets the needs and preferences of veterans who wish to continue to receive their health care in Hot Springs. So we ask you, Secretary, to put the veterans first and not to rush your very important decision. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Secretary, time for one more question. Mr. Secretary, thank you for coming to Hot Springs. My name is Gary Sones. I'm a Sheridan County Veterans Service Officer. I represent about 600 veterans from my county, and there's about 6 other counties from western Nebraska that also utilize the VA facility in Hot Springs. We have other medical facilities available. We've got 2 community hospitals within about 30 miles. One of the community hospitals offers a CBOC where a VA doctor and nurse from Hot Springs go there 2 Fridays a month. That's a CBOC. Our veterans prefer Hot Springs. They enjoy their trip to Hot Springs. We're 90 miles from Hot Springs, and we'll come up here 3 or 4 days a week. And the reason the veterans enjoy Hot Springs is because it's one-stop shopping. You see you go to your lab, you get your blood work done. An hour later, you go to your nurse, and she goes over your blood work, your meds. You see your doctor. If your doctor wants to order an X-ray for you, you go to X-ray and you get your X-ray. You get it all done. This doesn't even include podiatry, optometry, audiology, all the other services that are available here, although they have been whittled down. Like I said, there's other options. The CBOCs, it's a Band-Aid. Choice care, it's not going to work. Anytime you bring outside providers into the system, you complicate the issue. A lot of my veterans are getting billed, having their Medicare billed by these other providers because they have to wait so long to get payment from the VA. Choice care is not going to work. Dismantling Hot Springs is a disjustice to the veterans of western Nebraska. We need Hot Springs. We love Hot Springs. Don't dismantle Hot Springs. Use it as an example of what's right with VA healthcare.
One more. Does somebody have something different to say than what's been said already?
I do.
Of course, everybody does. Go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Secretary. My name is Vidal Davila. I'm the superintendent at Wing Cave National Park, which is located 10 miles north of here. 3 quick points. The National Park Service has been involved with the EIS process since 2012 because we have the responsibility for monitoring and providing technical assistance to national historic landmarks such as this one. While the historic campus is important, the veterans come first. We suggest the final alternative
include more than a minimal VA presence on campus and instead offer an alternative that is best celebrates the government's commitment to its veterans as a place of healing, a place of safety, and a place of renewal. Towards that end, the National Park Service perspective has always been to encourage the long-term preservation and use of Battle Mountain Sanatorium National Historic Landmark. Thank you very much.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman.
Thank you. I apologize, I've got to go, but thank you very much for your comments. As I said in the beginning, this is a decision that will be taken with only one thing in mind, which is what's best for veterans, and that's the only reason the VA is here. So, well, that and obviously concern for taxpayers as well. But we appreciate all of your input. If there was a topic that didn't get covered today that you think is important, please make sure we receive it, and we will continue to communicate with you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the town hall meeting, and please allow me to extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to the veterans in attendance today. Thank you for serving our great nation.
Well.
He wasn't really getting attached to anything that people were saying. He was registering with what the report says. But he did say that he hasn't made a decision yet. So I think people should listen to that. Maybe met him on a different tone. What's been going on for the past 5 years, maybe he just doesn't listen to it.
Really good?
Right. This should have happened from the beginning.
You did a great job.
What about the tour? Right, what Bob was saying. Yeah, then he took it the wrong place.
Give me a second. Or just go on the highway. Yes.
See you.